Yo, hello, hello.
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. We're just wrapping up our own community AMA, and we're just jumping right into this. So apologies about the 2 minute delay there.
Hey, no. You're good. We're just vibing. So, guys, this is the YondoMondo team, and let me just bring up the website for in case anyone's not seen them. So, at initial glance, we see these. I don't know if we'll call them cuddly, but they're cute, different characters. Are they avatars? Are you guys building out a certain thing? Give us a little bit of a breakdown about what YondoMondo is.
Heck yeah, yeah. So first of all, YondoMondo is the name of this universe. This is a new IP we're creating from scratch with these incredible, talented artists. So we are launching this as a 10K NFT avatar collection that is not that's the starting point of what is ultimately becoming this massive animated universe. And so, this initial drop that's happening next Wednesday is going to be a set of 10K, super custom, guaranteed unique avatars that we're pulling from a combination pool of 100 billion combinations. We were able to get a whole bunch because of our insanely talented team that's worked to build these amazing 3D assets. And there's so many variations because, we have multiple characters, right? So this is not just we have one kind of template character and we're just piecing things on top of them. There are 3 unique species, and each of them have their own set of skins and assets that are scaled appropriately for their sizing and their body types and all this other stuff. So that's kind of the genesis of the project. Again, we're building a massive animated universe here. And so this is a proof of concept. And we've been getting some really, really awesome feedback about this community driven nature of what we're trying to build. Essentially, we're thinking about this project as the first step of the next version of Pixar. What if Pixar started today with the ideas of crypto and blockchain and community and really just starting from the community rather than from a group of people in a room creating all this stuff? Because there's so many great ideas out there. Why would you limit yourself to this? So this is the first foray into what will be a big long-term project from a very public team with a track record that is proven to deliver on things of this scale. To the tune of millions in the realm of consumer, whether it's animation or games or things like that. So,
well, with that, do you guys want to do a quick little introduction now that we know a little bit about the project, about who everyone on the team, and more particularly who you guys are?
Sure. I am Jason Struhl. My quick background, I got started actually in the media space, worked on a music streaming company called Songza. That was the special sauce there was an algorithm that was responsive to sort of user activity and music suggestion. Sold that to Google, got involved in the alternative asset space, was a manager there. For a company involved with private equity groups, and then being in that universe naturally parlayed into crypto. Became super passionate about Ethereum specifically and sort of the open sandbox that it created, and very confidently felt this was the cusp of something great, while still being a skeptical pain in the butt since my job as an analyst previously had necessitated that. So sort of was the voice of reason screaming from the mountaintop in 2017 that, some of these use cases didn't make sense and the majority of the activity was rather felonious. And as we have evolved from that starting point into the next great precipice where this space has become inignorable by the mainstream, it was a natural jumping point for Jason and myself to get in to the NFT space. And so with all of our energy, passion, time, and resources, we have jumped full force into YondoMondo. So that's my super quick background, and I'll let Jay take a stab at his.
Yep. So my name is Jay Jacobs. I've been in digital product for a decade now. I started off doing games, education, animation for a bunch of years and delivered that. Started a company, was the first employee, and really built that out from nothing to many millions of customers. Then I moved over to Harry's and built out Harry's, the men's grooming company, built out their mobile app with a super talented, really great team. And then really kind of helped to bring the shave plan that they are now known for to the masses and build out that program, which was a monstrous lift, but awesome and super fun, especially from a digital capacity to go build out. And then my most kind of recent-ish was joining a team called Clarity Money, where we helped people understand where their money was going, and the whys and what they can do about it and how that impacted them. We sold that company to Goldman Sachs. And I've been building out the infrastructure of Marcus in a digital capacity to bring their app to the masses, and to really help drive forward all of these goals of like helping people own their finances and their future life. So essentially our skills, and I'll talk for a second about Kelsey. Kelsey has been instrumental in the crypto space for a very long time and worked with Jason. The reason that we're all connected is because Jason and Kelsey helped bring these crazy, crypto offerings back in the day out to the masses, and helped consulted on the release of several like major cryptocurrencies, which is all amazing. And they have the backing in the crypto space. I have the backing in the consumer space and the digital space. And so we kind of come together to have this really nice triangle of skill sets. And Kelsey's really been helping us, take this vision of what we're trying to build and bring it to people in a way where we're getting the right community, getting the right partners. And we've been having some really awesome chats lately with some crazy partners about how we can actually deliver on this animated, massive animated universe. We're super excited at the prospect of how we can go do that.
Well, it's cool that you guys have such kind of like a lengthy resume. And then what exactly attracted you guys to decide to pursue like an NFT together? Was there some kind of specific catalyst? I know for a lot of us, it was, kind of like the NBA Top Shot. We found out about Zed Run, Bored Apes, and that was kind of like the start a few months ago. But for you guys, what was it?
I can kick off. So we didn't mention this, but we've been best friends for over 20 years. We've known each other. So like the conversations happen all the time. Now, Jason got involved and pulled me into the crypto space however many years ago when he was first paying attention to it, and before he was committed to it full time, got me invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so that was the like genesis. Now, for this particular project, what was super fun is, my background, my love of tech actually comes from being a hardcore gamer. So I've been gaming since I can like literally physically remember. And so for me, it was Zed Run that really pulled me in, and I saw everything clicked in an instant when I saw Zed Run, and I just got it. And the funny backstory is the initial idea for what we're going to go build is much more gaming influence, and then we had a massive pivot in what we were thinking about doing and we were confident executing, and what the market, quite frankly, needed at this time, given the massive runaway, pun not intended, success of Zed, as well as Axie. And so they've been crushing it, and there's some monster AAA studios getting into the mix in the fray, which we are so excited about. And I, as a consumer, can't wait to go do these and go mess around with these. But that was that's the super quick of how it came to be. But I'm sure Struhl has something to add about the story there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the great impetus to start paying a whole hell of a lot of attention had to be Bored Ape Yacht Club. NFTs, I remember being in meetings in 2016, and for some reason the big thing there was, we're gonna put your electronic medical records on the blockchain, and they're gonna be NFTs, and there's gonna be rev share, and that's the future of this protocol. And I remember thinking about how asinine and backwards that notion was. I almost went to med school. I spent an inordinate amount of time shadowing doctors and doing all the horrible things you need to do to prepare for that hellish process. And so it was clear to me that no one proffering that had spent 1 second actually investigating the cluster of madness that is EMRs, or, ever speaking to a doctor or an insurance company or anyone in the space. So to me, it was sort of this really cool use case, but it requires a lot of support to have, a deed to your house or car or medical record or anything else in the system. So it was it's funny because it sort of was super popular then kind of died out. And then, when it came back into my purview, just with the art projects and some of the one-offs, I was like, okay, it's cool. We'll see where it goes. And then Bored Ape Yacht Clubs came along, and the community that they engendered, and the power of that community, and the positivity, and the offshoots, and all of the companies and organizations and groups and meetups and things that have come from that it became clear to me that we were reaching sort of a new paradigm. And I'm honestly, regardless of the actual transaction prices and the incredible floor that we're at now, just empirically in the real realm, the power of what was created there was huge. And so he said, this is really awesome. We absolutely are in awe of the community piece that they've built. What comes next, or what do we think sort of the next piece of the puzzle is and then more pertinently, what are we capable of uniquely iterating upon that would actually matter? And so that sort of, as Jay said, started as a game and then parlayed into, we're product people. We know how to bring things to market. We're involved. We've been around the block in that capacity. And so what we got excited about, I'm a huge nerd. I'm a huge sci-fi person, central to my sanity as a child. So creating this story and this background, creating characters that we hoped had universal applicability and maybe, in terms of their making them 3D and all the incredibly hard work that was bringing something to market that was sort of intentionally silver screen ready and like at studio quality was all wrapped up in this. How would you use an NFT to go to market? There's some obvious advantages of having a built-in community of people who have a vested interest in the success of your project, who are contributing and communicating, for whom you have an inextricable link and way to share the alpha is the crypto-y way, but actually create utility and value to keep them engaged. What a better way to approach a new endeavor of this magnitude than sort of the old school traditional approach. So again, I think we're hopefully going to be viewed as an early, I don't want to say archetype, not that egotistical, but maybe an early example of what is possible and an early example of something that is branching out into the mainstream that started in this particular realm. So that was the genesis, and I went on a bit there, but
yeah, I think like to sum up, the punks were kind of one of the first great examples of this like amazing NFT as a generative avatar. The apes came in and were like, okay, great, like we're gonna make these avatars now, these NFTs be a key to a community pass. And then I think we're taking another step and saying these keys to the community are the first step, but like when you have a proven key, we can now bring you into this collective that will define an entire IP narrative universe. And we really mean that. This is not like we're going to put up some votes as like flash kind of things. Like the main decision points will be in the hands of our community and the holders of these NFTs. And we have lots of plans for how we can go build out some really cool stuff with all of that. But essentially, this is the next step above community, which is a company making huge decisions that are entirely informed by the actual holders of the NFT.
So I'm going to go over to the website here in just a second, but before I do that, you mentioned that you kind of were like, hey, we kind of envision ourselves somewhat like Pixar in a way. And I think like when looking at that, I was like, that's a really, really good reference. But we've seen other studios come out within the NFT realm, for example, with Stoner Cats, where, it seemed to turn into kind of, more negative sentiment afterwards of, hey, like celebrities, cash grabs and that kind of stuff. And, not that you guys are like those top of the line, like, you're not Ashton Kutcher or whatever, but how do you guys perceive your project playing out with also seeing, how Deadheads as well as Stoner Cats have been perceived?
Yep, I can take a quick pass there. So, to whatever degree is possible, we believe that these NFT releases are more or less like whatever kind of activity is hopefully positive for the community. At no point do we ever want to be a negative force for anyone at all, most specifically for the NFT community who we are kind of working with to launch this entire endeavor, right? So like that to us is super key, super central. Now, I think there's a couple of mistakes that we don't have to get into about how some of these were launched. I think with Stoner Cats, there was an inherent exclusionary element to how they were thinking about doing their NFTs and their release. Deadheads, we know that team, like they're all good people. With us, I think we are committing to saying this is going to be an animated universe. We are not committing to saying exactly how it's going to manifest. We're not making timeline promises. We are not like celebrities who are in this for a cash grab. This to us is a long-term play that we want to stick with and commit to. And you have our utmost sincerity in saying, when this collection sells out, this is going to be the thing that we devote the next years of our life to. And we will put our personal reputations on the line and do everything we possibly can to bring this to light in a way that is, positive, engaging, useful, valuable, entertaining to people. And we're not going to stop until that is the case. So, I hear you. Before the apes, there were other projects that were, NFT projects that weren't great. And then the apes came along and you see it done well. And you're like, okay, I get it. I think and I hope that we are either that or there is one of those in the environment, so that people see what an entertainment, like a true community-driven entertainment entity can look like. And we're committed to doing our very best to make that a reality. So the Stoner Cats, Deadheads, they're all good people, and I'm sure there were positive intentions behind this. We're just doing our best to make sure the execution is just as positive as the intentions. They're again like great people, and don't want to make it sound like I'm disparaging anything, but I know that there's a little bit of a stigma at the moment, and we are committed to reversing that.
Yo, great answer. I love it. All right. So for anyone that's like, hey, hold on, there's these two guys. What the hell are we talking about? We're going over the YondoMondo. And so a massive universe ready to pop off. This collection marks the exciting first phase in the creation of our expansive animated world, YondoMondo. We view this as the Toy Story to our Pixar. We've got silver screen ready 3D characters, an incredible team, and a proven track record on shipping ambitious products to big markets. It's our belief that NFTs unlock a new paradigm of engagement, allowing supporters to have a vested interest in the success of an IP and enabling them to participate in the ideation and formation of that universe. Our mission is laser focused on leveraging these crypto ideologies to bring the next generation of interactive entertainment to the world, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. So how we get Yondo. So they're aiming for the stars. This is the first moment of a huge expanding universe. Years from now, we'll look back on this launch with reverence for how such a large empire was born. Community-driven story. Anyone and everyone can submit their ideas for where the story can go, and the YASA Council votes on what becomes canon. We're nervous and excited.
Slight reference, not too well hidden, to NASA, because these are going to be our spacefaring.
Okay. I gotcha. So the public team, a fully public team, welcoming accountability and committed to bringing you the glorious universe. Reach out and say hi. Doing this together. This is a new way to approach collaboration, equitable ownership, and digital decentralized communities. And what a damn adorable way to do it. Building a metaverse experience. This rodeo doesn't just stop in space. These Yondos are venturing all over the interwebs, even out into the metaverse. So looking at season 1 here, to the moon. So 30% sold, 30 given, 30K to the 30 project, giving back to the amazing medical community that kept one of our co-founders alive after a crazy illness recently had him in the ICO. At 50% sold, a one-of-one Yondo merch. NFT holders will be able to purchase sweet merch showing off your one-of-one character. 75% sold, NFT airdrops. 20 wallet addresses will be randomly chosen for super special NFT airdrops in collaboration with some of our closest friends in the space. 100% sold, a Tesla giveaway. Help save the planet while you're living out your crypto-fueled Elon Muskified dreams. Your Tesla will be delivered with a custom-made YondoMondo wrap. Bonus, the Yondo Pal airdrop. After we sell out, we will airdrop a Yondo Pal NFT to accompany every NFT from the collection. Designs are already in the works. Going forward, our public team is laser focused on creating a large, multifaceted animated universe. You can expect much more to come after this sale, and then you guys have season 2. So let's talk about the roadmap a little bit. We got airdrops, we got merch, we got the Tesla giveaway, and then some extra stuff. So just kind of run by it in your own words, if you can.
Sure. I guess it starts with the 30 giveaway. So, we have an advisor on the project who told us from early on, don't partner with any charitable organization, or don't put that in there if it's just a talking point, if it's just a box to check, if it's not meaningful and imbued within your ethos and value proposition. And that became an unintentionally easy box to check for us. When I got incredibly ill right at the crux of our creative process, and as it alluded to, wound up in the ICU for a few weeks. And so as my and our personal way to lend some gratitude to the incredible medical community that concertedly saved my ass, we wanted to work with 3030 Foundation. They build medical facilities in places where they are desperately needed most. The Yondos have imbued in their lore is a sort of collective coming together of a society, and sort of having the social and human resources and economic resources to provide for their population in a way that we think would be a good North Star and lesson for today. So healthcare is a big piece of that. So that is the first chunk of the roadmap, why it's incredibly important to us. And
yeah, I mean, Jason's also understating here. He was minutes from dying about three 3+ weeks ago. And so this cannot be any closer to our hearts, and it cannot be any more important to us. So yeah, I just wanted to call that one out because I think it's hard for him too sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to be seen as milking my own sort of trauma for personal gain, but obviously it is it was I don't know how to describe it. Thank God for Jay and waking up to an ever more thriving company than when I left, but it was obviously a terrifying process. Like, and also a fun little Easter egg was, I think one of the first stupid thoughts in my anesthesia-addled brain when I woke up was, hey, can we please add stethoscopes into the asset mix and make them the rarest? Because I promised some of the docs that saved my life that doctors would be the most valuable Yondos. So there's only 10 doctors in the entire collection, and that was just so there's the obvious medical tie-in. Yeah, we can keep going down the release list, so to speak.
Yeah. So then there's merch. We're gonna do merch, right? We have a super high goal that I don't want to commit to yet, but we're trying our very best to get it so that we can have everyone's custom Yondo actually delivered as a plushie. We will absolutely commit to delivering plushies for everyone. I just want you to know that like we are really busting our butts to go find the right manufacturer that can deliver this in a way that is timely, at least semi-affordable. It's going to be expensive for us to offer this option, and a way that we just feel confident is going to meet the high bar of quality that we have in mind. So we've had a bunch of conversations. We'll continue to do so, and we're kind of set on that. But one of our members of the team, Kelsey, also she runs her own agency, or she has in the past. She's delivered on merch stores for gargantuan brands, and we're going to do the merch, and it's going to be awesome. And you can expect a variety of stuff. You can expect certain stuff is exclusive to NFT holders, but again, in the vein of the inclusivity and just like being a warm, open, and welcoming community, the merch store will not be exclusive to just NFT holders. And so there will be things that like people can buy that they don't necessarily need to own an NFT for. Yes, then we have some other stuff. We're going to airdrop some fun stuff. Can't talk about partners yet. That's coming. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. It'll be awesome. The Yondo Pals, we are working on them diligently already. We already have such a massive following and such a fervorous community at the moment, and we're dealing with all of our whitelist troubles that all popular projects go through, and we're kind of working through that stuff. Once this sells out, we will be delivering our airdropped YondoMondos to a snapshot of whoever owns. Our Yondo Pals will be airdropped to the current set of Yondo NFT holders at the snapshot that we're taking. And then, yeah, the Tesla thing was a super fun, like, we just wanted the community to just feel like we care, we're in this, like we are a fun, like, you can sense by the copy on our website, this is a fun project. This is meant to be approachable and inclusive and just entertaining. Again, we're an entertainment company. Look at the characters. They're super adorable. They're cute. Yeah, it's just fun. It's awesome. We haven't seen it done before. We're going to be designing a one-of-one custom wrap. We hope the person leaves the wrap on, but we'll certainly make sure.
Yeah, okay, so one thing that we've seen with some projects that are doing that, they're also saying, like, if you're not in the US or whatever, like, they would be like the Ethereum equivalent value. Is that kind of like a similar thing that's what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly do our best legally to try to facilitate that. Teslas are commercially available in most of the world at this point, but we've thought of that, and also, if they happen to be unlicensed or not desirous of a vehicle or something in that nature, we'll certainly work with them. But I'm pretty committed. I'm a huge car nut. I'm not necessarily the world's biggest Tesla fan. It's not against EVs. It's just but there was that obvious link. I was like, yeah, we can give away one of the other awesome EV market, but just the Elon Musk and the whole crypto connection there it was too good to pass up. It's also very hard to get your hands on any vehicle at the moment, so that's another huge challenge. But yeah, we will, to the degree that we have to accommodate the particular person that's picked, we will certainly do.
W.
Yeah, especially if there's like another crazy awesome thing that we can gift to them. I'd rather do that than just kind of transfer some ETH, which is not as exciting or fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go over kind of like one last thing here, and then I'll get you guys to kind of like recap all the information about the mint here. When you guys are kind of like looking forward and everything, the way you talk and everything is really like, hey, we want to make this something that's going to be big, and people are going to look back and be like, oh shit, like I should have picked that up. So what makes you so confident that that's going to become a reality?
Sure. Okay. All right.
Sorry, you're muted. Unless you're, yeah, okay. Sorry.
Okay. So obviously, at the risk of extreme hubris, one thing is we are a very visibly optic team. You can certainly look into our track records. We have the network and the repeated experience of bringing big projects to market. It is certainly far, far, far from a foregone conclusion and far from easy to do something like this. And we're not, trying to hide that fact or be anything but transparent. We're also not saying this is going to happen by quarter, whatever, 2020, whatever. We've been very careful to have tangible goals that we're committing to that are realistic, and then setting these lofty North Star propositions that we know take a village and an immense amount of effort to build. We think we're in a place with the universal applicability, some of the brand partnerships and relationships that are already in conversation and within our own network from a resource side and the ability to actually build this out, that we are confident that we can bring the beginnings of this experience to life in a relatively tangible time frame. We understand how big of a picture and how incredibly resource intensive it is to bring a feature length Pixar movie to market, but that is absolutely in the realm of our North Star. We are laser committed to building this. We have the resources and the full-time commitment to doing this. And so what we can say is I would never sit here and say it's absolutely happening. There's no way it doesn't, because that's bullshit. I can't see into the future. But I can say we are 100% genuinely and wholeheartedly focused on doing everything in our power to make it happen. If it pans out in a slightly different direction in terms of the exact medium of visual entertainment, that if it somehow goes in the direction of a game, or maybe it's a YouTube series, or maybe it's an animated short, or whatever the case may be, I think it would be insane to not take the honest and agnostic approach to talking about that in the future, because to commit to something so exacting that is so time and resource intensive, and there's so much between A and B. But I believe that us as a team are uniquely qualified in this space to sort of make the bridge from the NFT world into the entertainment medium. I believe that we're really good at picking step B when we're at step A, and being pretty honest, as I hope is being parlayed, about how tough it is for any team with any amount of resources, with any amount of employees, to say with a straight face, this is exactly what we're doing at this point. And it's a particular bone that I had to pick, just coming from the ICO space and way back in the 2016 era, when you have a white paper saying we're doing all this crazy stuff in 3 weeks and it's definitely going to happen. And that tone and that rhetoric is unacceptable to me, because it's impossible to make that sort of commitment. So the commitment that we can make is about our conviction, our intent, our abilities, our resources, our time, our manpower, what we're uniquely qualified to do and what we're not uniquely qualified to do. That's what we feel incredibly confident in saying, and then being like, this is our North Star. This is what we intend to build. This is what we intend to partner with the right people to be able to build. And this is why we think this is the best way to do it. We think there's so much excitement and potential around NFTs. And just like I said, that inextricable and ignorable link behind having your earliest, most ardent adopters have a vested interest in your success is such a phenomenal, I don't want to say lever and cheapen the relationships. It's a universally uplifting lever for everybody involved to be able to go to that next step. And I think it is a heretofore, basically underutilized mechanism that a whole lot of projects we're going to see coming out of the gates taking greater and greater advantage of, as the universal applicability, comprehension, and marketability of these things kind of straddles from, just marketplaces and sort of collections into what's next. So I hope that wasn't a complete, BSE marketing laden answer. I really believe everything that I'm saying. Of course, the founders need to be drinking their own Kool-Aid, but I hope that you see that I am a skeptical so-and-so pain in the ass. That's my profession. That's where I come from. And so the amount of times we said no to putting our names behind something in the space is not to be underestimated. And so we're putting our names, faces, reputation, time, passions, effort, and probably a modicum of our sin behind this. And we hope that shows, and that's really the biggest, realest thing that we can tell people in terms of why you should have confidence in us. Everything else is, to some degree, not as real.
Yeah. And if anyone's promising anything else other than having signed contract partnerships, not real.
And so with the kind of like the timelines and everything, and kind of going back to the Stoner Cats and Deadheads, we've seen Deadheads, I think, create up to 3 episodes already, where Stoner Cats is still in their first one. What's kind of the timeline for you guys to release your first thing? Is it going to be like an entire movie that you're going with? Is it going to be like a TV show right off the bat, like some clips? What's kind of like the timeline roughly looking like for that?
Yeah, I think, as we were explaining before, we really want this to be a community-driven experience, and so we don't have an exact roadmap for the particular piece of medium that this will be coming to life as. I think we can see it coming to life as a series of shorts, as a YouTube series, as an animated feature-length film, as an animated like Netflix kind of situation. It can even be like a mobile game. It can be something completely different that we haven't thought of yet. So we really want this to come from the community. We want everything to be viewed as up for grabs for anyone who's interested in having a piece of input there. So I think I don't want to say that we're going to do this immediately afterwards. What I want to immediately and personally commit to is delivering a massive amount of utility to anyone who's getting involved in the project. I think we have a bunch of really awesome things that are in the works that we can't talk about just yet. We have committed to the Yondo Pals. We are committing to living, breathing, and existing with this community to decide on exactly what those next moves are. And once we have those kind of set in stone, decided on by the community, and given the stamp of approval by everyone, then I think we can start to talk about what the exact timelines are. All of that being said, I hope that we can kind of pretty quickly move and huddle around building some kind of animated short. But again, we'll see once the sale kind of drops and we have an idea of who is owning this stuff and what direction they want to take it.
And then finally, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, but we're lining up those conversations now so that when the community can point us in a direction, we're ready to aim and fire as soon as that happens.
Execute on everything right away. Right on. Awesome. All right. So final things, if you guys have any last words, and also giving the information for everyone about when the mint is happening.
Cool. Yeah, I can take a quick grab there. So my last words would just be, we are throwing everything in our entire arsenal against this project. We are trying to make this a success in every way, shape, and form. We are incredibly excited and probably most proud of the community that we currently have running. So please, for anyone who's listening, who's interested to learn more information, join our Discord. You can find the Discord info at YondoMondo.com. There's a link right there. We are at the Discord link / YondoMondo. That's where everything is kind of happening. You can also follow us on our Twitter. That's all cool. But Discord is where all the action is really taking place. And that's where we intend on having, at least to start, our major kind of interactions with the community and engagement with the community in terms of like shaping this narrative, this storyline, what we're actually planning on delivering. So the Discord is where it's at, and anyone interested, please join that. And just about the minting. So right now, we still actually, for another couple hours, have our last whitelist open. So if you visit our Discord, we have a link to our Google form, which is a submission to the whitelist. So if you're interested in getting on the pre-sale, the whitelist is the best way to go. That's open for another couple hours. Check that out. If you don't make that, if you get this not in time, our public sale is happening on Wednesday, October 13th. And then we have our reveal planned for the day after. So all of that is super fun and exciting. And I'm not sure, Struhl, if I missed any details there.
No, I think that's awesome. I don't have much to add other than to say thank you for the opportunity to share our story, and thank you for that incredible narration of our web copy. I never heard it like that, and now having heard it, maybe would change a word or two. But no, seriously, that was really cool. And again, just a pleasure to be here, and thank you for your time.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you coming on. Guys, let's fire it up with some W's up here in the chat. Really looking forward to the mint. And JVB did post the Twitter and the Discord there in the chat. So if you guys are wanting to join up, follow them, and all that kind of jazz, be sure to do that. And guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, there is the squad. There is the squad. That was cool. That was a W.